Hey guys, my name is Iglika and this is Iglika TV. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the interaction/animation function inside the Anima app. This is the third tutorial that I'm shooting for you. The first two, if you haven't watched them already, I'm going to link them below this video so you can do so. Alrighty, so we will be reusing again the same file that we used in the previous video. I'm linking it down below, so make sure to download it or just use your own files. So again, we're going to be looking at the interaction section today. We have the prototype section of the Anima app, and we have already explored the flow, smart layers, and today I'm going to be exploring the interaction section. So you want to make your designs as interactive as possible, but you don't want to overdo it. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you two things. First of all, I'm going to show you how to change the background color of your buttons. So for example, when you hover over this button, the color should change to red. And another thing that I will be doing is I want, when I hover over here over the different elements, for them to have a frame. This should look super nice, and it is the final touch that I'm adding to this interactive prototype. Okay, so click on the button layer and then over here click on interaction and then create. This is going to open the Anima Editor. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to explain to you. First of all, each animation or interaction is based on the premise that you have one state, which is state 1 or state 0, and you have one or multiple other states. And what you can do in Anima is you can link those states using different actions. Okay, so we have state 1, which is the original state, and then we have the second state. As you can see, in this case, they're still the same. Okay, there is no difference, which means that actually no interaction can be created. I mean, you can create, for example, an interaction, but nothing will happen. Okay, nothing will actually happen. I'm just showing you to explain what this thing actually does. Yeah, so we have the initial state and the state 2. So in the initial state, if you click on that, you can actually define the actions over here. You have a click action, so when you click the element, something should happen. You have the mouse enter, so when you hover over the mouse, something should happen. When you move away with mouse, something should happen. And then a timer, which is like something should happen after a certain period of time. Okay, so these are the 4 states or the 4 actions you can use in order to link 2 or more states of the same element, so you can create the interaction or animation you like to. Down below here we have the timeline. There's nothing in the timeline yet, just because there is no difference between 2 states. But if we make something like shrink the background, which is something very simple, then you will see already here we have the transition. So once you have the transition, you can create different things with that. Like, for example, you can change the curve of the animation. We have very similar options to the options that we have explored in the smart layer section in video 2. So you can set the duration of your animation. You can also play around with that, and you can also manipulate it right inside here. That is actually much better. So what we just tell this button to do is on click. So when we click it, it should shrink. Okay, this is what should happen. It should shrink. Now here, up here, you can actually run the component so you can see what will happen. See? Okay? Or just play the whole transition over here. I personally like doing that. It's just really a preview. So, okay, so this is like the basic setting. Now let's see what we can do with our button over here. So as I said, I want to create a hover. As I said, I would like to create a hover effect. The way to do that is to actually create the states already inside your designs or inside your elements. So I'm going to have to rename this to button background 1, and I'm going to duplicate it and create a button background on hover. So I'm going to change this to the desired color, which is red, and then, and here is the part where you have to be careful. You just have to make it, you have to hide it, okay? So you have to hide this layer. So already, as you can see, there's this little sign over here, which means that we have used the interaction and we can already edit it. I'm going to delete it just because I want to start from scratch. So click on create. And now again, we have the button and we have two states, number 1 and number 2. And what I can do is go over here to state 2 and turn on the layer that I was hiding. So now we have the first state before hover, and then we have the second state. So we create again an interaction by clicking on state 1, then clicking here on this symbol and pointing to state 2. Now what we want to choose here is on mouse enter. Okay, you hover with the mouse and then the button turns red. Here there's something that you should really not forget to do, which is you have to link the hover state back to the original state on mouse leave, because when you hover over a button it changes its color, but when you move the mouse away from it, it should change back to the original color. Okay, so let us just see what we created. Okay, I'm hovering over it and it's red. Going away, it's blue. It's red, it's blue. Oh my god. Okay, it's working. This is really cool. So this is how you create the hover animation. The hover effect for buttons. The next thing I want to show you is something actually pretty similar. There's so many things you can do with the interaction option. There are just too many. I can't possibly show you everything. You have to be creative with it. But another thing I thought will be cool for this particular design is to just, when I hover over this, testimonial over here, I wanted to have kind of a blue border. I don't know why, I just think that will look nice. So when I hover over it, it should look like this. Yeah. Okay. And so I'm gonna do something similar to what I just did for the button. Okay, I'm gonna hide it. Okay, I'm hiding it. It is the same as what I just did with the button. So I'm selecting this element over here, going over to interaction, create, and then again I have the two states, state 1 and state 2. Then I turn on the layer at state 2. It is pretty much the same. And also what, for example, you could always do is you can change the color, you can move the text. Let's just say I want the text to move, or for some reason I just want everything to move down just for the sake of it. So again, I go over to state 1, click connected to state 2 on mouse enter, and then I link back the second state just because it's a hover effect link it back to the original state. So now we're here, as you can see, because I've changed a couple of elements. We have a timeline for all of those elements. So you can play around with the curve over here, and you can just make it the way you like it to. You can click here on Run Component so you can see what you've actually created. Okay. That is super easy, and it's also kind of cool. Okay, so now let's just save everything, and I just want to see how that's going to look in the preview. Okay, the animations from the previous tutorial are loading, and then look at that. Isn't that amazing, guys? We have the background video. This is working. Obviously you have to pay attention because that's kind of going away from it, but like, yeah, it's just really cool. I'm a fan. I'm sold. So yeah, if you learn how to use this, you'll be able to really make your designs pop, and just with very, very minimal effort, and also takes several minutes to do that. I think this is a really great tool, and also keep in mind that this is a free tool. So yes, you can buy, I think, your own domain and host it there, but you don't have to. So you can do everything for free. Okay guys, I hope this tutorial was helpful to you. This was the last tutorial of the series, how to create a high-fidelity interactive prototype inside Sketch. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you soon with more tutorials.